Have you ever felt like time is running out? Like everyone around you has figured out some secret formula for success that you somehow missed? If you're approaching 30 or already past it and still wondering when your breakthrough moment will come, this video might be the most important thing you watch today. I'm going to share something that most people won't tell you about age, success, and the brutal mathematics of making it in life. And I'll warn you right now, some of what I'm about to reveal will challenge everything you've been told about timing, potential, and second chances. But before we dive in, let me paint you a picture. Right now, there's a 25-year-old sitting in their apartment, scrolling through social media, watching peers land dream jobs, launch successful businesses, or achieve recognition in their fields. They're telling themselves they have plenty of time. Meanwhile, there's a 32-year-old having a completely different conversation with themselves, one that's far more urgent, far more desperate. The question isn't whether age matters in success. The question is how much it matters, and whether the conventional wisdom about it being just a number is actually setting people up for disappointment. See, we live in a culture obsessed with outliers. We celebrate the Mark Zuckerbergs who built empires in their 20s, and we comfort ourselves with stories of Colonel Sanders franchising Kentucky Fried Chicken at 65. But what we don't talk about is the statistical reality that exists between these extremes. What we don't discuss is the invisible ceiling that quietly descends as the years pass, or the biological and psychological changes that fundamentally alter your capacity for certain types of achievement. The truth is, there are different types of success, different windows of opportunity, and different strategies required depending on where you find yourself on the timeline of life. Some doors do close, some opportunities do have expiration dates, but other pathways open up that younger people can't even see yet. This isn't about crushing dreams or promoting ageism. This is about honest assessment, strategic thinking, and understanding the real game you're playing so you can play it more effectively. Because the worst thing you can do is operate under illusions about how the world actually works. I'm going to break down the harsh realities of timing in different fields, from technology and entertainment to business and creative pursuits. We'll examine what the data actually says about peak performance ages, why certain industries favor youth while others reward experience, and most importantly, what you can do with this information regardless of your current age. We'll also explore the psychological shifts that happen as you age, both the limitations and the advantages, and how to leverage your position rather than fight against it. Because here's what I've learned. The people who succeed later in life aren't the ones who pretend age doesn't matter. They're the ones who understand exactly how it matters and adjust their approach accordingly. If you're under 30 and think you have unlimited time, you need to hear this. If you're over 30 and wondering if it's too late, you need to hear this even more. And if you're somewhere in between, caught in that liminal space where optimism meets reality, this video will help you navigate what comes next with clarity instead of confusion. So let's start with the uncomfortable truth that no one wants to acknowledge about age and achievement. The uncomfortable truth is this: your brain is not the same at 30 as it was at 25, and it's definitely not the same at 35 as it was at 30. While we love to talk about wisdom and experience, we rarely discuss what neuroscience has revealed about cognitive peak performance. Fluid intelligence, your ability to process new information quickly and adapt to novel situations, peaks in your early 20s and begins a slow decline thereafter. Working memory, processing speed, the capacity to absorb completely new skill sets, these all follow similar trajectories. This isn't opinion, this is measurable biological reality. Now, before you click away thinking this is just doom and gloom, stay with me. Because crystallized intelligence, your accumulated knowledge and expertise, continues growing well into your 60s. The question becomes, which type of intelligence does your chosen field reward more heavily? In technology, where frameworks change every few years and processing speed matters enormously, youth dominates. The average age of successful tech entrepreneurs at the time of founding is 25. In Silicon Valley, being over 40 is often considered a liability, not an asset. The industry moves too fast. The learning curve's too steep for older minds to keep pace with younger ones who grew up digital. But look at consulting, law, or investment banking. Here, pattern recognition from years of experience trumps raw processing power, the ability to see what others miss, to understand complex human dynamics. To navigate institutional politics, these skills improve with age. Warren Buffett didn't hit his stride until his 50s. Most Supreme Court justices peak in their 60s. The entertainment industry presents perhaps the starkest example of age discrimination. Actors, musicians, athletes, they all face brutal expiration dates. The window for breaking into Hollywood as a leading actor closes rapidly after 30. Record labels rarely sign new artists over 28. Professional athletics has hard cutoffs that vary by sport, but rarely extend beyond the 30s. Yet writing, directing, producing, these creative roles behind the scenes often favor maturity. The perspective that comes from living, from failure, from understanding human nature, this becomes an asset rather than a liability. Here's where it gets more complex. Even within fields that theoretically reward experience, there are invisible biases working against you. Hiring managers, often younger themselves, make assumptions about older candidates. They worry about adaptability, energy levels, cultural fit. They question whether someone in their 40s will take direction from someone in their 20s. This creates what researchers call the experience trap. You need experience to get hired, but getting hired becomes harder as you gain experience. It's a cruel paradox that explains why so many talented people find themselves stuck in career purgatory after 30. But here's what changes everything. Understanding these realities allows you to work with them rather than against them. If you're 28 and dreaming of becoming a tech entrepreneur, the clock is ticking louder than you think. If you're 35 and considering a career change into investment banking, you might actually be entering your prime years. The key is honest self-assessment. What are your actual strengths? What does your industry really reward? Are you fighting uphill battles because you're pursuing paths better suited for different life stages? I've watched too many people waste their 30s trying to recreate their 20s instead of leveraging what their 30s uniquely offer. Stability, perspective, networks, credibility. These become your competitive advantages if you know how to use them. The brutal truth about making it by 30 isn't that everything ends if you don't. It's that everything changes. The strategies that might have worked at 25 won't work at 35. The dreams that made sense then might need complete recalibration now. Success after 30 requires different thinking, different approaches, different definitions of what success even means. And sometimes, the most liberating thing you can do is stop chasing someone else's timeline and start creating your own. The question isn't whether you've made it by 30. The question is whether you understand what making it actually means at whatever age you are right now. Because that understanding, that clarity, that's where real achievement begins.